Hi, we are in panic mode. We see many attacks reaching new heights that we have not witnessed before. We see also that Israel is climbing and becoming the most attacked state in the world. Eva with us is today. Hi, Eva.
Hi, Ron.
Could you please tell us why is Israel becoming the most attacked country in the world?
Well, we've seen for a while now that cyber attackers use geopolitical incentives to attack and find their targets. And we can definitely say that with the Palestinian and Israeli conflict, all of this has inflamed the area and has led Israel, as little state as it is, to become the most cyber attacked country in the world.
Well, this is opportunity maybe to drill down into two attack examples. The first one is an Israeli bank, which was under attack just a few days ago. Eva, can you tell us about this bank?
So first of all, on a personal note, I am a client of this bank. This is my bank. I use the app. This is where I have an account, so I am familiar, and I had no idea they were under attack. I heard it through Radword that is protecting this specific bank. What happened is we saw a web DDoS attack using many vectors, changing all the time and reaching heights that we did not witness before that point. So over a period of several hours, attacking starting with small peaks that the bank did not think were necessarily a major attack, but evolving into peaks of 2 million requests per second, 1.5 million, and the major peak being at 3.5 million requests per second.
Okay, Eva, if I'm a CISO, can you please explain to me what does it mean, 3.5 million requests per second?
Well, this bank, I can only assume, is used to maybe 1,000 requests per second, or maybe tens of thousand requests per second. But as you reach 100K, there's several hundred K, millions, several millions requests per second. These are huge scales that no organization can withstand on its own. So those are definitely different than what it's used to be.
Okay, so we were protecting this bank, but let's assume that the CISO of the bank, if they don't have Radware, what other alternatives do they have to protect against these tsunami attacks of web DDoS?
Well, there are several methods that are largely accepted around the world. So we have source blocking that can be an option, rate limiting. But as we know, rate limiting does come at the expense of the legitimate users. While this might be acceptable for some organization to block legitimate users when you're under attack and just hope for their understanding, most of our clients do not. And rate limiting blocks legitimate users. So that needs to be taken into account. And if you add with source blocking, that might be efficient. But the thing is, we see those attacks and many like those attacks with very different sources. So even if you block several sources, and a lot of them, you still have so many others, and the attack cannot be efficiently blocked this way.
Well, the challenge with the web DDoS attacks is that every transaction imitates a real user transaction. So how does Radware or our technology really can differentiate between the real users and the attackers?
Well, the key is within those millions of requests that come your way at a pace of only a second, is to differentiate the legitimate request and make sure that users like me that was actually able to access the app while I had no idea that this organization were under attack. This makes the entire difference.
Okay, so were you able to access your account?
I was, and I made several transactions and checked my balance, and actually had no idea they were under attack.
The second case that we would like to cover here is a payment clearing service provider that suffered from a huge multi-vector DDoS attack. Tell us about it.
So this is payment services. So when you take your credit card, you go to grocery shopping, or you are online and just putting your info, they are in charge of the transaction. So you can imagine if their services are not available. But what I've personally witnessed here, and many like me, is an attack of a scale unknown before. They have received over a little more than an hour, over 7 billion requests So just to emphasize what several billion requests can mean, imagine every single person living today on planet Earth takes a smartphone or some kind of device and tries to access or tries to do a transaction using this specific services. So those are scales that are completely unknown in terms of web DDoS attack, and we see the world getting there more and more.
So imagine that you go to buy to the cashier and you swipe your card and you get a 404, you get a service not available, or maybe that your transaction has not been approved. So what's the experience of the user and the service provider here?
Well, I can only imagine that this would cause some large discomfort, because I might say that the problem is me, I don't have enough balance, the problem is the bank, I don't know what's going on, I might call the bank, add some load that they definitely not need while being in such a massive attack. So being able at the end, this is a needle in the haystack. So the haystack is 7 billion requests, being able to differentiate you and I as the needles inside of this haystack, as the legitimate users that need to be able to make this transaction. I think that is the most important thing.
And all this is thanks to hardware behavioral analysis technology.
Behavioral analysis technology, but not only the fully automation cycle, and the fact that even though the attack morphs and becomes different every time, still Rubber can put the signatures in place and mitigate the attack as it's evolving, and no matter at any scale.
Eva, thank you. Can you please summarize maybe the key message for the CISO of an organization?
Well, first of all, threats are becoming ultra sophisticated, even more than before. Attacks are changing, as we mentioned, morphing throughout the attack in a matter of seconds, changing to be something else. The existing protections are simply not enough. They were not designed to protect from such attacks. And we can say, at the end of the day, what a CISO wants is for us to be the needles in the haystack. He wants us to be able to access the legitimate users, full access at any time, not even knowing that he is under multi-million requests per second attack.
Okay, so in other words, the CISO who is using hardware, they simply can discard attacks, or they don't care when they are under attack. Their users will always gain access to the applications.
Exactly, Ron.
Thank you, Eva, and thank you for listening to us.
Good luck.